Hi, I'm Lori Coates, Behavior Analyst for Davis School District Special Ed BATE team.
And I'm Jocelyn Ruiz, BCBA on the BATE team.
And I'm Crystal Martin, BCBA on the BATE team.
And welcome back to the BATE Debate podcast, where our team of behavior analysts talk about behavior in schools and share strategies and stories about responding to situations that may come up when working with students in schools. Today we're having a discussion on manipulation and how we can better understand this topic from a behavior analytics standpoint. Lori, what do you see when you hear a staff refer to a student as being manipulative?
Well, besides me rolling my eyes, what we see is that when a staff perceives a child as manipulative, it creates this negative lens that they use in their response to the student. So they'll be much more negative about the student. And it results in a lot of power struggles. As soon as we start saying that a child is manipulative, we are definitely getting ourselves in a power struggle. From an ABA perspective, we reframe this idea with compassion, skill-based, and functional responses. When we use the term manipulative, not ABA therapists, but when staff use the term manipulative, it may also indicate some challenge within the relationship. So we'll see relationship issues as well when we hear that term. Crystal, is it manipulation or is the behavior serving a function?
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. In ABA, we want to avoid labeling any behaviors as manipulative. Instead, we recognize that all behavior is communication and serves a function. Either the child is trying to get something, they're trying to avoid something, they may be seeking attention or trying to access some sensory input. What may look like manipulation is really a child using the tools that they have available to get their needs met. Jocelyn, how do we see this from a developmental perspective?
Yeah, so young children don't have the advanced planning or intent that we often would associate with adult manipulation. What they're doing is they're experimenting and learning what works in their environment. So if they got access to something using a certain strategy, they're more likely to use the strategy again to try to either access that thing or escape from that thing. If that behavior works even once, they're more likely to repeat it.
That's all it takes.
Just one time.
Just one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so how can staff view behavior neutrally and with a professional lens?
Well, if a staff sees behavior as manipulative, what ends up happening is they feel personally challenged. So the critical piece to start out is to back away from feeling that personal challenge from the child, because the child's not actually against you, he's just against whatever it is that is being presented to him. So if we feel personally challenged, like we said earlier, it could mean that you're engaging in a power struggle. So in order to be more neutral and a professional way of looking at it, framing behavior through ABA, we would keep our focus on data, function, teaching replacement skills, instead of assigning blame. An example may be, he's not trying to trick you, he's showing us what works for him right now, just like you said.
Yeah.
So reframing that to, he's showing us what we've actually reinforced. He's not manipulating like we consider adult manipulation by any means. Crystal, how is manipulation related to reinforcement history?
Yeah, I think that any behaviors that the staff is calling manipulation have most likely been reinforced in the past. Our job is to analyze what reinforcement is maintaining that behavior and not judge the child for using it, but probably to think about what we can teach instead.
Yeah. Always about teaching.
Yeah, we need to remember that. Joss, how can we differentiate between skill deficits and malice?
Many manipulative, and that, I did air quotes for that, but many manipulative behaviors happen because the child either lacks effective communication skills, they lack good emotional regulation skills, which can you blame them? I mean, how many of us know adults that don't have good emotional regulation skills?
Yeah.
So-
Social media is full of it.
Yeah, so let's teach them those skills, or teach them those coping strategies. So when this thing is presented to them, how can they better respond to that in their environment? How can consistency across staff help in these situations?
Well, I think consistency across staff is critical. If a staff is thinking, and hopefully never saying again, this child's manipulative, hopefully they can go back and say, how have we not been consistent? Because that consistency among staff is going to help children to actually learn the rules and the expectations much faster. Because children learn very quickly which adults allow escape, give attention, or access to certain things. Children are very quick to learn who does what. And again, that's not manipulation, that's learning through your environment. So the more we can be consistent, it saves time for you as a staff member, and it saves times for the student, because the child now is able to know the expectations and be more inclined to follow those expectations. How can we reframe the language for staff so that people quit using this term manipulation?
I know, just roll my eyes or do a heavy sigh. But
Yeah. I think, Lori, that we've heard you say that you just want this word to be out of any of our vocabulary.
Yes.
We don't want to say, oh, he was being manipulative, or it's just manipulation. But really, and it's going to go back to the teaching, as we've said. So instead of thinking or saying he's being manipulative, we want to reframe it as he has learned that this behavior works to get his needs met. How can we teach him a more appropriate way to do that?
Yes. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's also important for staff to be a little bit flexible in their approach too, and think about how can we give them some of this access or escape in an appropriate way, because power struggles happen, and oftentimes it's because staff don't want to be flexible in their approach.
Yeah.
True.
So
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
true.
So if staff understand kind of this reframing, rethinking, how is that going to empower them?
well, by understanding the function of behavior and looking at behavior, at all behavior as having a function and being communication, this gives staff more control and less frustration. It helps shift the focus from this child is pushing my buttons to this child is showing me what works for them, and I can help teach a better way.
Absolutely.
So quit using the word manipulation.
If we can do anything today, it is to get people to quit saying that children are manipulative, because really they don't have the skills to be manipulative, and they truly have learned from their environment what works. And it's probably about your inconsistency and not about the child being manipulative. So thank you very much for tuning in to this episode of Bait to Bait. We're excited to have this opportunity to share behavioral strategies. As we work with students and staff, as we've said, we need to change our perspective about students and manipulation. We hope the ideas shared today were meaningful to you. We have many more topics for the year to keep you and your educator friends reeled in. Remember, once again, we're on all the social media platforms: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and Audible. Like and share, and we'll catch you next time.